Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having us here to talk with you.
I'm privileged to be part of the interview process, especially with all the current events in Montgomery County and the Woodlands. So thank you for taking the time to interview me.
You're welcome. First, we'll start off. How long have you been a Woodlands resident?
It's going on 20 years.
Okay, and what are some of your favorite things about the Woodlands?
Oh, the trees, the schools, the pathways, the parks, all the special amenities that separates the Woodlands from every other community in the United States and the world. And I go travel, you go other places, I always look forward to coming back home to the Woodlands.
Yeah, it's a great place.
It's special, it really is.
How long have you been involved with the township?
Township since 2007, so I was in the original election. We had 14 people run. That time was a mixed board, appointed and elected, so I was honored to be elected by the residents and had been serving continuously since that time. So
Okay.
I guess 2008 I was elected, so 7 years continuously.
That's awesome.
Yes, great honor to serve.
We, obviously we watched the video, and a lot of people watched the video of the last township, the board meeting, and during the public comment section, Steve Toth had accused you or was making some accusations of some things. One, he said that you had nothing to do with the road bond, bringing it back to come into play. What do you have to say about that?
Well, kind of like what I told him at the meeting.
Okay.
He's wrong.
Okay.
The township board actually studied this and looked at the road bond that failed and looked at probably the hot button issue, the Woodlands Parkway extension, and we debated it and studied it. I've been active in the ad hoc transportation committee looking at all of the transportation needs in the Woodlands and South Montgomery County with HGAC in the South Montgomery County study. And we identified what needs to be done in the next road bond. We agree we need roads, we need infrastructure. We can't continue to be the fastest growing county in the nation and the state without roads and infrastructure. So we said, and I was the chairman, so I presented this and read it to the Commissioners Court and said we need a better road bond. We need more public input. We need to remove Woodlands Parkway extension. We need a more public process in this. And we also need to look at this study and look at the demonstrated needs. We have vehicle counts that are coming out, projects that need to be addressed. Also, we asked for projects that could match our state and federal funding so our dollars go a lot further. Mm-hmm. That was voted on by the board, 7-0. I went to Commissioner's Court, very unpopular, and read it. We need a November road bond.
Okay.
And here's the conditions that we would like to see. Oak Ridge and Shenandoah met with both of those mayors, talked to them about it. They presented similar resolutions, and they were in Commissioner's Court with me. And we all read together. We were standing unified requesting that. So if he says I didn't do anything, he's wrong again.
So there was a false accusation?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's demonstrated publicly.
Had he previously, before he addressed you there, had he previously emailed or tried to contact you, or was that the first of the accusations you'd heard from him?
I heard through other individuals. Steve is a man of his word. He threatened me, and he threatened to take action against me, and that was in relation to an open letter that I posted on my campaign website. It was really a statement of the Courier article that was printed by Catherine Dominguez. I added no new content. All I did is restate what Catherine Dominguez did. Somehow restating what has already been published irritated him, and that culminated in threats to me that he was going to take me out or do something against me.
Okay. Yeah. What would your response be to Steve if you could have spoken openly back to him in a cordial meeting discussing the accusations? Obviously, you weren't allowed to there. It was kind of a one-sided thing. He could accuse you, but you couldn't really respond. What would you say to him?
Let me address the meeting, because I think at the meeting, my intention was, if you look at the tape, it was a coordinated effort to do a political attack on me, and there was 20 people in there, right, with the special interest groups. Penny Bimbo started first, then Chuck Meyer said that we were cowards and insulted our integrity, and it was very mean-spirited, right. And we just don't allow that at our township board meetings for a couple of reasons. One, it's not in the public purpose, and one, we are a respectful body, and if it's not, and we only allow people usually to speak on township business, but if you're coming, I mean, Penny is from the Rayford Road corridor, but both of the presentations were somewhat threatening. Chuck's was certainly threatening, and then comes kind of a crowd cheering him on. And if anybody had done this to a staff member, a third person, you as a reporter, or Catherine Dominguez made threats to her, or any of my board members, but it just happened to be me that he was directing his attack on, and it was obvious to everybody it was a coordinated attack by a special interest group to intimidate me and threaten me, and that's what he was doing. So my first was to stop him. I said, stop there. This is not going to be the forum for you to do that. But then the shouting match occurred, and then you saw what happened, and my comment back to him was, that the deal stinks, which I've said in the paper. It was a backroom deal and it lacked transparency. And that's really all I said in my open email, but he chose to personally attack me. And so my response to him is, Steve, you need to look in the mirror. I mean, this is a backroom deal. It's obvious what it is. Whatever the result of it is, it shouldn't be allowed in Montgomery County. It certainly will not be allowed in the Woodlands Township as long as I'm chairman. I promote transparency and good government, and I put residents first, and I serve the taxpayers of the Woodlands, and they deserve a lot better than this, a lot better than that conduct that he displayed at the board meeting.
We know that you're planning to run again in November.
Yes.
Or you're running right now
I am.
for the election.
I'm running hard.
What are some of the things you plan to do for the Woodlands residents if you get reelected to the Woodlands Township Board of Directors?
Okay, we have a lot on our plate. Public safety is number one. I always look at that. We've already demonstrated fiscal conservative policies, and we've reduced taxes. So I don't know any other city, community our size that has reduced our tax rate to 23 cents per $100 valuation. That's my first goal, and I'll continue to reduce taxes. If you look over my history of tax reduction, when I was the Woodlands Community Association, I reduced taxes by 400%. I mean, it just went down to 13 cents before we created the township. And then during the township's period, it's gone from 30 cents to 23 cents. It's been the largest tax decrease there is. That's through fiscal conservative government. I run a very lean and mean government. I run a city like a business, and that's what makes the Woodlands so exceptional. And by that, we're very fortunate. 3/4 of our revenue comes in sales tax and hotel tax. That allows us to press down the property tax as a savings to our residents. But to do that, you've got to encourage economic development, and you've got to have sustainability, and you've got to continue to make the Woodlands the special place that it is, and it takes a lot of work. We have a very lean staff. We have the lowest staff in a ratio for other cities our size because we're a special purpose district by legislation. We're not a city where we have bureaucracy layered and layered and layered like Sugar Land does. So that has, and our law enforcement is boots on the ground. So we don't have all the administrative functions. So our patrol officers, the 130 that we have, are patrol officers. So other departments say, oh, well, we had 50 sitting behind desks, and they count those as law enforcement. We don't. We count the boots on the ground. So it creates the most efficient public safety law enforcement program in the country, and it's community policing. We created that model with the help of our sheriff. I actually negotiated that community policing program with our sheriff after having a consultant and looking at every model around the country, and it's created the safest community in the country. So economic development, I would like to see the continued economic growth in the Woodlands. Right now, the rest of the country is feeling a little contraction. The Woodlands is not. Even during the downturn in 2008, the Woodlands showed single-digit increases in growth and development. Other cities were not. So to be positioned to have this fabulous community, you have to constantly strive to be better and better and better. That means better amenities, better sports fields, keep our parks in great shape, our pathways, connect all our pathways, promote a bicycle-friendly community, athletic community. When I go out, I see thousands of our residents bicycling, children, families. I was at Bear Branch Sports Field. Part of my vision was to create Bear Branch Sports Field into a soccer mecca to where we could have all of our families come in, our children, and receive the benefit of these great sports fields. So I was instrumental in negotiating with the Woodlands Development Company 25 acres that we can add additional sports fields. Those are coming online now.
That's great.
And so I'm looking at now, looking at Bear Branch, which is one of our largest sports fields, and enhancing that to make it more user-friendly and to provide more amenities for our residents. Also, North Shore Park, we're doing a whole redevelopment of North Shore Park. There's a rowing club there, and we're going to incorporate all of that to make that park more user-friendly as well. So this is, there's a lot on my plate. But I will say, as chairman, serving since 2010, there's not one day that goes by where something happens that requires my attention, that requires me to meet with the city manager, requires a phone call to him, because we're growing. We're growing. We're going to be built out in 3 years. 130,000 people will be our population. An interesting fact about that is our population was projected to be 150, so we're not as dense as we were projected to be. So, I mean, that's all actually a good thing for those that say too much development, and it's all of our right-of-ways are built out. 1/3 of the Woodlands is open space reserve. No other city can claim that. That means parks, drainage, pathways. So it's an incredible place. And so preserving that, I want to preserve it.
Right. What do you think about the clear cutting? Matthew Burton, another person running for township, has a clear cutting campaign.
Yes, he does.
He's in line with George Mitchell wanted, there to be a lot of trees. Are you on board with that? Or how do you feel about the clear cutting?
Well, I like you asked me at the beginning of the interview, what makes the Woodlands special? Well, the trees.
Yeah.
The trees. And, I like Matthew. Matthew is, one of these future leaders that has a lot of energy, and he threw himself into that. Matthew and I talked about it. I have been engaged in reforestation of the Woodlands for 15 years. I mean, we have been putting millions of dollars into reforesting the city. So the Woodlands just doesn't grow naturally. You've got to plant the trees. You've got to continue the planting. So when you create arteries and roads and houses and buildings, you've got to continue the planting to keep the forest as vibrant as it just won't grow like that. So we spend millions of dollars. We do reforestation studies. When we had our drought, we put significant amount of money to keep that back. So the Creekside story, just the facts of it, when I heard about it, of course, I drove there immediately. I said, this is horrible. They just clear cut a whole subdivision. And I was disappointed because first no one called me. And I got the calls. They're clear cutting Creekside Park Village. And I made the calls. I said, tell me what's going on. I had my people on it immediately. Got in touch with the development company. One was the development company itself, the other one was another private developer, which no one had any control about. But they had gone through, got the necessary permits to move forward with the development of that area. Unfortunately, it's low. All the trees that were planted there were planted not naturally, but planted by the development company to create a forested area. And I knew about Matthew's petition, and I reached out to him immediately through an email. I said, Matthew, I want to help. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to be at the board meeting. I went to 4 consecutive Creekside Park Village board meetings, told the people there, I'll have the development people here, and they better explain what they're doing. What that resulted in is larger gallon tree plantings. Instead of the 40 gallon, we had 100 gallon. If you go look at it now, you'll see that it's nice.
He did say that he did give the Howard Hughes Corp and the development company credit for making some changes in that area.
It was all positive. It is. And another issue that I'm dealing with in Creekside Park is Walmart. When they announced the Walmart development, and I know Nancy Becker, who is the president of the Creekside Park Village Association. I know Rich Jack. These are friends of mine, close friends. And when they asked me for help, I respond immediately. And I went to their meetings and I said, tell me what you need. So I set up a meeting with Commissioner Jack Hagel, Commissioner of Harris County. Said, we're concerned about Walmart. We're concerned about the development and the design and the traffic flow. And it's close to this elementary school. And he has worked with us, and I'm saying the Woodlands Township, and myself and him, and I've put all the resources of the Woodlands Township on board, where they've come and said, you need to help the residents of Creekside Park Village Association. And we did it. We've accomplished a change with Walmart, accomplished a change at Creekside Park Village Association. And the difference in me is I say it's teamwork. I like working with people to accomplish results.
Yes.
I don't call them names. I don't say I took all the credit. I don't like you because you didn't sign a petition. I just look at making results. I want to do the right thing for people. And that's what motivates me to do what I'm doing now. It's giving back to the community and working with good people like Nancy Becker and working with Rich Jacobak, good friends of mine that have served in leadership positions for 15 years in the community.
That's great.
Thanks.
Well, how can people support you if they want to for your campaign coming up?
Well, I'm in another campaign, so I really appreciate that. I'm having go to my website. So it's brucetoth.com. That's a great place to find me. And on my website, we have donated a lot of effort and resources to the website, because really that's a way to communicate now. And I've got online articles about my position. I'm on there with videos. It's an open question and answer. So if you say, hey, Bruce, I just heard about this thing with Steve or with Matthew or with any other candidates, or who do you like? I mean, ask me and I'll respond on social media. I'm acting every day. I'm calling, I'm working very hard. I'm walking my blocks. I'm talking to all the residents. Like this morning I was with the focus group talking about the road bond.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hot button issue. And people call me and they say, Bruce, we want to talk to you about this. We want to know what you're doing. And I'm willing to meet with everybody. Anybody who calls me, I will respond. Anyone who emails me, I will respond. And if you want me to meet with a group of people, I'll meet with a group of people. You can call my office, call my campaign number, call that. It's all on my brucetough.com.
That's great. Yeah, that communication definitely is helpful.
Well, good. Thank you.
Bruce, we appreciate your time this morning and talking to us about this
Thanks.
issue, and we wish you the best in your current campaign election.
I really appreciate it. Well, thanks for the opportunity. Thank you so much.